Jesse LaVercombe, I apologize, co-writer. All right. And Alfonso cinematographer. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You mentioned butterflies beforehand. Have you released any from your body through the course of watching this film?
They're still in there.
I was, we talked about your short film, which was very much a film about anxiety and kind of like people seeing how you see yourself, how you fear others might see you as well, and it feels like maybe some of that also sits in this film as well. And I was wondering if you see connective through lines between those two films.
That's hilarious. I've never thought about that before. But so Jesse was the writer of The Things You Think I'm Thinking and one of the, co-stars of the film. And, I always say that I can't escape my own perspective of the world. So I think maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just like an anxious person. But I think there's a lot of, power in like recognizing that and kind of claiming your space and like that journey of, putting yourself out there and recognizing what's your own stuff and what's reality or other people's stuff. Yeah.
And I'm curious for the two of you as co-writers on this piece, did you feel it was an adaptation as well? Were there different elements of the narrative that each of you connected with or that each of you were exploring, or is it very much a collaborative process for yourself as co-writer?
This film is based on the book by Kate Marchant, who's also in the audience tonight as well. We're happy to have her here. I think watching the film today for me, I think I was thinking a lot about just the different ways that we form family and the different ways we form community and the way that, and I really enjoyed how kind of it felt like the romance of the story was kind of built right into this sense of a community around people. I mean, I come from a kind of a family of a mix of different people kind of agreeing to be a family, and I don't feel like I'm very unique in that way, especially nowadays. And so I think showing a film that really shows a lot of that and a broad range of that was really exciting to both of us from the beginning.
Yeah, I think we actually both really turn towards our families and our family histories. We both have siblings. We have, complicated relationships with our parents and our siblings too. And we really mind a lot of that. I think Jesse was really valuable in the perspective of Robbie and his sister. Blake, Blake and his sister. And for me, it was Waverly was my person, and yeah.
Well, it strikes me that for probably a number of people in the audience, there's a number of familiar faces on screen. We have Dan Mangan and Jesse Zubat with the score, so a lot of these familiar kind of Vancouver or BC elements. And for yourself, I think living in Toronto when you came to direct the film, did that kind of mirror Waverly's journey to some degree of finding your way into this kind of creative community here as well?
Well, for sure, absolutely. But yeah, Waverly's story, when I read Kate's book, it was kind of nuts how much I could relate to it. And it was really special that the whole team was excited about me kind of bringing my own story to it. So it's so strange because I think this is a very personal story for all the parties involved, which I don't think happens very often in an adaptation. So I think that's very special that way. But yeah, this idea of being kind of, fish out of water, trying to find your community, trying to find your place, trying to figure out if what you're doing with your life, have you ever questioned it? Is it actually something that you want to do? And we're excited to tell a story where she kind of reaffirms her life choices and doesn't go on a total pivot.
And I think it's always interesting with adaptations as well, to hear more about kind of how you harnessed, the cinematic potential of the narrative as well. And I'd really be curious to hear from Alfonso about some discussions you had about how you would really capture the grandeur of the setting for the film.
I mean, when I first read it, being from Asian descent, I really connected with the characters because a lot of Asian parents, I grew up in an Asian household that don't communicate emotions, so I really connected to the story right away. And it's one of those things where how you externalize a lot of those emotions, and especially the script, it's so beautiful, and I was like fighting to get the job. So, yeah, I connected with Sherren first go. We started talking a lot more about our families and about how nature and our family, how we try to externalize beauty and how to communicate. So it was actually a lot of conversation about personal life, but at the same time, what can Vancouver provide, or BC, and just the script itself. And Kate wrote such an amazing book as well. I actually read the book, and I was trying to figure out how to not exploit BC because it's so beautiful in general, and how to actually incorporate into the characters. And Sherren had a lot to say about we scout every beach in BC possible. Like, we're sick of scouting beaches. I was. But then at one point, yeah, we found a perfect location that really embodied all the characters, and you can feel it, like it's the character and then the space, and everything else externalizes the character's journey.
And I think you avoided one of the key questions there. Who were the other DOPs who you defeated in combat as you were fighting for this job?
It's like, let me take up this.
Well, I'm glad you won out in the end. You did a fine job, and glad we could show it on the big screen as well. We are very happy to turn over the audience with your questions at this point in time. Raise your hand. On the aisle here.
Yes, my question is, I've been in the Lower Mainland for a while, but these are some of these places that I've never seen before. Like, are you allowed to disclose where some of them? At the beach, I know I'm not gonna say anything, but the swimming pool looked amazing, and coming out of that swimming pool scene, they were in this area. I don't know where that one is, and where they had their first barbecue.
You're testing my memory. It's funny because when we were doing these scouts, a lot of the crew was like, I've never been here before. But do you remember the name of the beach?
Wannock Lake, Maple Ridge.
Yes.
Watson.
Wannock Lake, yes.
Watson was the ocean.
Oh, Tuason was the
Watson,
ocean.
yeah.
Yeah, I live in Lander, so it's pretty cool. Okay, thank you.
Also, can I just get everyone who worked on the movie to stand up?
I'm so sorry, one last comment. Would Tristan McCarthy, the guy who played Ethan, stand up? Is he here?
Is Tristan here? I thought Tristan was here, yeah. But maybe he's not here.
No? Okay. Someone said that he was here, and actually, Mom. And so I thought she asked if he stands up, can you take a picture of him? And I said, oh, okay. But thanks.
The film also, there's a line very early on when Waverly's asked by her aunt, what are you doing here? And she says, I don't know. And I think this like fantastic place to to start her journey from, this place of real uncertainty. And wondering for yourself and your journeys in like writing this book, did you have a very clear sense, or sorry, adapting the book for the screen, was there a very clear sense of like the trajectory you were going to take with it, or was it really an exploratory process in the adaptation?
When I take on a project, I always look for what is it about me that makes me the person to tell this story. And I think belonging was just such a big theme in the book, and that I could relate to, and kind of finding your way to stop negotiating with yourself and actually talk to the people that you're in a relationship with, whether it's your family or your partner or your friends, and just, don't assume that they're gonna say yes or no, just ask for the things and then let them answer you. And so making that space for yourself, or allowing yourself to have that space and not to take it away from yourself before you get your answers. That was really like the through line for us. And so we did make that decision right from the start and built around that, yeah.
He finds your answer satisfactory. Nothing further. And then, you know, we probably remiss if we didn't touch upon the casting of Andrea as Waverly, and you know, what did you think she embodied about the character? Maybe what surprised you that she brought to the character that you didn't necessarily see when you committed this character to the page?
Good question. I'm so, I think Andrea is like such a star, and I was so excited for everyone to see her in this film, because I actually think that, I mean, I worked with Andrea in the past on Kim's Convenience, and she's so funny, and there's so many things that she can do, but I hadn't actually seen her do something like this, so I was really excited to have her in this role. And I think it was just a really nice collaboration, and I actually haven't seen this film in a little over a year. And I'm actually surprised at how much of myself I see. Like sometimes I'm looking at her and I'm like, that's me. Even though we don't look alike, but yeah, it's weird.
I think we have time for one or two more questions out here on the aisle back there. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Daisy. What was your favorite part of the process in making this film?
Oh man, honestly, the team that we put together was so brilliant. There's so many little things in this movie that were so thoughtful that everybody just brought themselves to the project. Flo, our wardrobe designer, I don't know how much you can see, but there's so many like subliminal messages in there for you. Like as you see, we really kind of progress through her journey, and like, you know, the graphic tees that she ends up wearing, and we also have, you know, our couple, Van and Lena, and you know, they have a lot of messages of power too, even in their bar, on their car, and just little things that we wanted to put out there. And you know, the little flower in the mailbox, you know, just like little things like that were even surprises to us, that just created so much magic, you know. So I'm really proud. I think we really did a great job. All the department heads were very thoughtful and kind, and brought on thoughtful and kind people. And we just had a really good time making this movie. So that was definitely the best part, yeah.
And we had another question on the aisle, I think, a little bit further back. Yes.
I can't see, I don't know.
Your creative approach to the scoring.
Oh man, the music still like moves me so much. I love the music. We wanted the music to feel kind of meditative, to kind of follow Waverly's kind of thoughtful reflection journey. But also we wanted it to be tender and romantic. So we always wanted to work with a theme that kind of comes back throughout the film in different forms. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we thank all of you for being here. It's been a long journey, I know, with the film as well.
Yeah.
So we're very glad to be able to host the premiere of it, and wish you all the best as it continues to find its way into the world.
Thank you so much.
And thank all of you for
Thank
being
you,
here.
everybody.
There is another screening after this, so the management has asked me to encourage you to find your way towards the doors. Thank you.